Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unique Peace. I am Janice. I am your host. I am also a Reiki Master Teacher and Psychic Medium here on Long Island. And today I'm excited to be talking peace with Dr. Maria Inglesby. She is a transformational guide and author who preaches scientific rigor with the expansive understanding of consciousness. She also has a book out called Soaring Beyond, and we're going to talk to her and find out what she thinks of peace. Hello, Maria.
Hi, Janice. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
So, we were chatting before the program, and I want to know about your background. Who is Dr. Maria Inglesby?
Okay, so the who that walks around on this planet. I grew up in the old country and then immigrated into the US. I got my education here at UC Davis, so I was trained in the hard sciences. I'm very, very curious by nature. I guess that's what took me into the sciences. I love learning. I love research. And it is the curiosity really that brought me to where I am today. And it was a moment of a dark night in the soul that turned my journey from being mostly outward directed to inward directed. And it is through an illness in the family that I got interested in energy healing. So I've had just as much training in energy healing, Reiki, quantum touch, Akashic record reading, and those things as I do in the hard sciences. So both of those things 10 to 12 years each, which brings a really beautiful perspective to the whole thing, because to me, spirituality and science are the same thing. We're just looking at the same consciousness through two different lenses, two different facets, basically. Peace is important to me because I would like to see peace on the planet, but I understand from my inward journey that we can sit back all day long and wait for peace to somehow on the planet. It doesn't really work that way. Peace really, truly is cultivated from the inside out for each individual. And we have that choice because we're beings of free will. We get to choose what we wish to cultivate. So it's not I'll sit back until it happens kind of a thing. It literally is let me have a look at my own inside and get to know the true self, my larger self, let me just call it the cosmic self. Let me get to know my cosmic self. I've seen over my journeying, we're not really from here. So humanity may be on the planet and we may be embodied in sacred matter, but we're not from here. The spirit self that embodies this vessel is not from this earth. So for us to come to peace is really important, and for us to realize that we're one human nation, even though we may have different oranges in the cosmos, is really, really important for us to open up to that.
So let's take
big idea, big consciousness.
And I love all that. We're going to continue to bring those in, but let's just take a step back for a moment. Mm-hmm. You studied in the hard sciences. What science did you concentrate on, and how did that kind of morph when you stepped into that dark night of the soul and realized, hey, wait, there's more to life than what's presented?
Yes. So at UC Davis, I was in the polymer sciences. It's a niche within material sciences.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was trained in let's call it the material sciences. What brought the dark night of the soul was that I found my husband when he had his cardiac arrest. Mm-hmm. That is a moment where an earth person would say, this is not cool. And it was this, I never would have chosen this for myself. Like from an earth perspective, you would say, I would never choose to be in a situation like that. It's just not cool. But fortunately, few months prior, I had been introduced to pranic healing by a friend who said, hey, there's an open house. You're curious, and do you want to go with? Do you want to just check it out? And so I did. And my husband, who already wasn't feeling all that hot, so let's go check out the open house. Let's go see, maybe I can they offer free healing after the open house. So he got that. And one thing led to another, and it's explained, I've written this up in my book, how it led to me taking classes. The practitioner or the instructor at the time said, hey, yes, I can take you in, I can do healing on you, but you are the healer. And so she explained, if you could have one of you take classes and you would have a facilitator, energy facilitator in the home, that would be helpful for the entire home. It helps everyone in the home. It helps,
Absolutely.
it helps my husband, helps the children, helps the pets, helps it just helps the community. And so I said, oh, I'm good with that. So I signed up for classes. So I had enough pranic healing training and had just stepped into quantum touch, because to me, quantum touch was like, okay, it's rooted in science, whereas pranic healing is rooted more in like theosophy, Eastern philosophy. Mm-hmm.
I think she froze.
To assist. I was able to practice my new skills.
Your new education right there.
Yeah, right there. It's almost like Spirit said, okay, so you've got your first class in, you've got your pranic healing classes in, let's go to work, kind of thing, you know? So yeah, but to be at peace during that time is really, really important. I sat at Bai's bedside, he was in a coma, and my persona self was sitting there at wit's end. Basically, you sit there and you realize there is nothing here that persona self can do. You sit by the bedside, you're at the end of the rope, you're at the end of anything you could possibly do. And I just decided to surrender. I sat there, it's like, there is nothing else I can do. He's here, he's exceptionally well taken care of. And in that moment of surrender, I sat with the knees against his bed, and I had a window behind me. So I was sandwiched in there between the window and the knees.
I can only imagine how that was.
You can't move, you know, you're there. And I felt hands on my shoulders. And I thought, my sort of objective logic self kind of observing, it's like, nobody fits there. There's no room for a person to fit between my back and the windowsill. Like, that's logically not possible.
Right.
But I literally felt hands softly on my shoulders. And what I perceived was, all is well. And I was awash in this incredible unconditional love. I had never in my life sat in this amazing, amazing, amazing love. And I thought, oh my God, I wish this was always like this. I felt like I wish I could always swim in this. It was so incredible. And in that moment when I wished, I always want to swim in this. This has got to be the healing substance. This has got to be what heals the body, what heals the soul, what heals this every cell in my physical being, right? And in that moment, I saw St. Francis standing behind me. And that was another where logic sat there and it's like, that can't be happening. That's not real, right? This idea of that's not real. But I knew I could see it on my inner screen. It's like, yeah, that's real. He's here.
Very much here. He's very much doing something.
Yeah, yes. And it literally was that moment that had me question afterwards, what is reality really all about? Like, what kind of objective reality are we agreeing to? That can't be real. That can't be right. Something's off here, right? Like, either science wrong or spirituality is wrong, or something's not right. Stuff wasn't adding up anymore. And I just diligently went questioning everything. And I journaled. I wrote like a mad hatter. I always called myself the investigative journalist. But I would turn inward. It's like, okay, so out there, people can't agree on anything. And it's like, it's the field of relativity. It's this Einstein bit, right? Like, light is a relative creature and everything slides with respect to everything else. And I thought, that's not the place where I want to be looking for truth, probably. So I really started turning inward with a vengeance, basically. And I started questioning everything on the outside, almost ruthlessly, I have to say. Sometimes a bit faster than my nervous system can handle.
It happens, right?
But it set me free in ways that I would not trade for anything today, really, truly. And so I'm sort of a bit on a mission to help people understand the peace that you seek is already inside of you. And it comes with the eternal flame that is inside of your heart. You are the divinity you're looking for. It's not out there, it's inside your heart. And if we would just tune into that divinity and own it and really know we're all that is already, we're a fractal of all that is. And so the peace is already there. And it's a function more of calming down or relinquishing all the pieces that sit between our persona and the peace that sits inherently within our heart, within that golden light, within that eternal flame.
Yes, I agree. And with all of your knowledge now, you have the scientific, logical, and then you have the ethereal, spiritual, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of blended together in your life, it
Yes.
seems. How has that helped you define peace for yourself? And what is your personal definition of peace?
My personal definition of peace is basically that I own my energy. I own my sovereign soul energy. And I refuse to sell my power and be disrupted or have my energy field disrupted by the chaos that appears to be on the outside. I'm very, very protective of my own energy. And so to me, peace literally is I choose my thoughts. I choose my emotional state of being. I can let go of some of these persona attachments that sort of create this idea that I have to become something, or I have to be more, or I have to meet somebody else's expectations, or I have to jump through some hoops that society prescribes or whatever. That can never create peace. So to me, is this, let me be sure I get in touch with my true self inside my heart and keep exploring that, keep meeting more of the aspects, and really guard my energy field, really. So yeah, just recently okay. And so I just said to her, I love you exactly where you're at. But that lack perception, I don't want to take that on anymore. I've worked hard enough to get out from under it. So I literally went to her little shirt pocket, said, you keep that in your little pocket. That's okay. But I'm not taking that on. So if you want to keep that, if you want to dwell in that perception, that's good. That's yours. I don't need that. She says, yeah, but everything is like that. I said, no, there is, per my perception, there is no one objective reality that we all need to agree to. I don't believe that anymore. I believe that we really, truly each are an unparalleled, unique consciousness. And each consciousness gets to choose for itself. These are my thinking states. These are my feeling states. These are my beliefs. These are the ideologies I subscribe to. So those are all choices. And if I can come to accept someone else's choices as their choice, but I own my own energy, I know I'm my own consciousness, I create the reality that I then experience every day. So I get very protective of that. I get very creative with that. And I do question everything that comes in that doesn't feel good. I'm not afraid to question it. It's like, yeah, that's a belief out there. I see that. Do I need to take that on? Yes or no? I have that choice. I'm a being of free will. And those are the choices we have.
And with that definition of peace and knowing you make all these choices every day, and we all make our own individual choices.
Yes.
How do you bring peace into your daily life?
By coming to a state of acceptance. Now that's easier said than done.
Absolutely.
So I said to Janice just a minute ago before we started recording that my husband just had surgery. He had his knee replacement. And we were very excited to hear when the physician said, hey, because of risk of infection, we would rather have him out of the hospital and have him home right away, like one night in the hospital, and then he's going home if he's able to move and everything. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not a nurse. How am I going to deal with this situation, right? But you just, from one moment to the next, you just decide, I accept it for what it is. It is here. So accept it for what it is. Come to a state to acceptance and breathe. Learn to breathe. Learn to just take a pause and breathe. And this situation here is only here because we can handle this. Your soul self will never give you a situation you cannot handle. That just doesn't work that way. So we just take a breath every moment. Okay, how do we deal with the medication? How do we meter that? And sometimes it gets overwhelming, right? Your nervous system starts going. You're like, oh. But when that happens, I have learned or have trained myself to step back, even if I just step out the patio door for a minute into the garden, take a deep breath, just take a really deep breath, right? We co-created this together. Take a deep breath. The solution is inherent in the situation. So then after I take a couple of deep breaths, it's just to calm down the nervous system, to let the nervous system know I'm in charge here. You're not going to run my life. And we're going to breathe through this and we're going to manage just fine. And the solution arises. It's like, let's just deal with this medicine bit first. And then let's deal with this
next
ice machine thing next. And then, right?
The ice machine is great. Having to deal with the ice machine many times for wrestling injuries. I guess.
Yes. And so but these are all new things that we haven't dealt with before. And so to me, acceptance is a key piece to peace. Acceptance is a really big, big, big thing. Or when people come in and it's this, oh, have you heard the news? Or there was an earthquake or there was right? Aren't you afraid? No, I choose not to. And I'm not taking on your energy either. So I always tell people when they come in with something that comes from the world, right? I let them know, look, I understand where you're at. I know you're panicked. I can feel that.
Yeah, can feel it for sure.
But I choose to not take that on. And sometimes if it's a good friend, I'll take their hands. It's like, okay, let's breathe together. Let's take some deep breath all the way down into the belly or even lower. And so sometimes we'll do this, like breathe in 4. If you can hold for 4, hold for 4 and breathe out. Just breathe it out. Just let it go and tell your nervous system we're safe and sound. Always tell your nervous system we're safe and sound. And your nervous system can be trained. Your nervous system will know. How to do that, how to calm. But breathing is a key piece and taking pauses is a key piece. Another example is if like a sales thing comes, it's like, oh, you've the warning, right? Like if you don't hurry up and buy this thing right now, you're going to lose out. You're going to lose out. And I look at that and I go, that's the fear of loss. That's marketing, pitching, a fear of loss.
Yeah. Or the fear of missing out.
Yes, the fear of missing out. Yes, the fear of missing out, the fear of loss. And I know I can't lose. I know at my true self, I'm a cosmic being. I'm much larger than this little persona you're pitching to. So I can't lose out. There's nothing to lose out. My higher soul self is going to bring around to me whatever lesson or learning I need. And you can never miss that boat. Your higher soul self sits right with you. It hears you. It sees you. It knows everything about you. It is the all-knowing aspect of you. You can't hide from it either, just so you know.
We can try.
Go ahead, try. And so you cannot miss out on anything. So I always say, anything that belongs in your orbit is going to be in your orbit. And it's going to come in whatever form or fashion it needs to come. And so we can be at peace about that. You can never miss out on anything. You can be at peace about that.
I love that. Now, you've mentioned the nervous system a couple of times, and I'm a firm believer in that, and especially the parasympathetic nervous system. That's a mouthful.
That's a mouthful.
But help our listeners and our viewers understand the importance of calming down the nervous system.
So, okay, let me see what angle I want to take this from.
Put you on the spot there.
Yeah. Let me try this. So instead of make it super scientific, it's not helpful, I don't think, is to say we're familiar with the symbol of the cross. Let me just use 2 pens here.
Mhm.
Because I think that's going to be helpful. The cross used to make me nervous because I was raised as a little girl in the old country. I was raised Catholic. And we would be taken to church every Sunday, and you see the cross and you see Yeshua nailed to the cross. And the cross, to me, I grew up believing that the cross is a symbol of suffering.
Yes.
Okay. And that was not helping my nervous system either.
I could understand that.
Right. And the other thing that wasn't helping my nervous system one bit, and I really have gotten louder about this, is the notion that there comes a judgment day. I have had enough hypnotherapy sessions. I have spent enough time out of my body. I have spent enough time with my loved ones whom I can perceive clearly. Today I can. There is no judgment. That is not how this works. There is no judgment day, okay? Humans create judgment.
Mhm.
Now there is
Every day.
Every day we do this. We judge everything. Once we pay attention to our judgment, we see that we judge everything. We judge our body, we judge people we meet, we judge anything that is unknown to us, that's different. We judge food, we judge the weather, we judge everything, 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 everything. If we could get past that, there will be peace. You won't believe what kind of peace you'll be in when you get past judgment. Really, truly. Back to the cross, though. So if this is our cross, the symbol I used to associate with suffering is not a symbol of suffering at all. During my journey, I came to learn it is actually the symbol of divine union. And what I mean by that is this. If we take the nervous system, which is sort of an electrical type of a feature, if you will, it is connected to the cosmos in the above, higher frequencies, what that means. It doesn't mean it's up there, out there geographically. It simply means this is a higher frequency, and the higher frequencies are here. They're not out there somewhere. They're not past the moon. They're not. The higher frequencies are right here. The high frequencies of the golden Christ Sophia light are already inside the eternal flame, inside your heart. That frequency, that golden frequency, already exists within every single eternal flame, within every single heart of every soul on the planet, no matter what. It does not matter how much we judge. It is there. Then this is the lower frequency, let's say, of the earth or of stone or of just as sacred. Matter is sacred. It's just a lower frequency. And we literally are on this earth to bring heaven, this high frequency, into the matter that is our body. And our nervous system plays a great role in that. Now, when I do this number here, to me, this is the magnetic field. So if we sliced the earth in half and we took the biggest circumference plate, this is the space of our heart. Right here is the space of our heart. We're asked to uncage our heart, meaning to become ever more inclusive of a greater number of beings, of a greater number of our human family. We truly are one nation. To look at the difference as, isn't this amazing, the diversity we have on the planet, instead of thinking, ooh, that's different, I don't know that, I'm scared. Now that gets the nervous system going. So every time as we calm down our nervous system, what can I learn from that? What aspect is it showing me I have not seen before? And we become ever that circumference here. I would draw this as a circle, this magenta pen. I would draw this as a circle. And when we hit the equator, when we hit the widest possible spot, the wider we go, the wider that circle goes, the more magnetic resonant coherence we create in the body. So our nervous system and our magnetic coherence system are tied together very intimately. They create an electromagnetic field. So if you would say this is electrical and this is our magnetic resonance. So for people who are looking to create peace, and you keep this in mind, the more inclusive you become, the less judgmental you become, the more at peace your nervous system becomes, the more coherent your magnetic field becomes. Those are all related. the more wellness you're going to experience in your body, the more healthy you will be, because it affects your cellular fabric. Dis-ease is a function of us dimming our own light, of sitting in this small little circle. I'm judging this, I'm judging that. The nervous system is going sideways. We're afraid of this. So that creates disease. It creates illness. It creates cancer. It creates all of these things from the inside out. And so if we really want to manifest wellness, or we want to manifest peace, or we want to manifest literally anything in our life, we have to come to a place of peace and magnetic coherence. And we can feel that in our body when we get to that state. And that state, when it's cultivated and trained and practiced, it's a practice. That to me is spiritual discipline. When we practice this, becoming ever more inclusive, more compassionate, more open, uncaging our heart, letting go of fears, letting go of limited thinking, letting go of judgments that we inherited from someplace, letting go of the fear that there is a judgment day. Let go of that. There is no judgment day. Let go of that. Can you imagine we're living an entire lifetime suffocating under the fear? I have to behave. I have to be good. I have to be a good girl. I have to be a good boy, because the judgment day comes. By whose standards? Judgment by whose standards? Mm-hmm. Right? So if we can let go of that, we can breathe. When that gets off of us, all of a sudden the nervous system goes, I'm safe. I'm safe on this planet. I am safe and sound. I have nothing to fear. And we can come to a peace that is inconceivable to logic.
So that, with that understanding, that's amazing. How do you bring peace to others? What do you do on a daily basis to help people find peace in their own lives?
So I'm a high frequency energy healer. And then one thing I do to others, I actually prepared an affirmation. If we can use that later, I would share that. But what I do with others is this. It depends on where they're at in the journey, because I can see that. I always let them know, you are an eternal being. The idea that you're a mere mortal and that divinity is out there somewhere, inaccessible, unavailable, unreachable, is simply not true. I do let them know, you choose your belief system, but your beliefs create your reality. And you're here with me in this moment because you're not liking the reality you experience. And then I let them know, now I'm not the healer, you are the healer. You are a being of free will. I can only poke the bear where I see it's hurting, but then you have to be the one that is willing to let go of the thing that stands in the way of you and being healed, kind of. So let me bring an example. So a friend brought another friend by referral, and she came in and she said, I'm really struggling with my marriage. And I said, okay, so tell me about that. And what it was she didn't feel appreciated. And I thought, and so then I asked, where else are you not being appreciated? Well, I volunteer a lot of time, different places. And then in the conversation, she said, well, I'm thinking about getting divorced. And I said, okay, I hear you. And then she said, this is my third husband, but the second husband didn't appreciate me either. Neither did the first. And I said, oh, there's a pattern here. There's a pattern. Yes, there's a pattern. And so, but then instead of teaching or preaching, which is not helpful ever, I would rather send someone on their own exploratory journey, because their own experience will sit with them forever. You cannot unexperience a personal experience. Teaching goes in here, goes out there, you address the intellect, and it's a disconnect between here and the rest of the body. But a full visceral experience is a full body experience, as you know. It's not the intellect, right? I'm not interested in it just addressing the intellect. So I gave her a piece of paper and a pen, and I asked her to sit down. I said, tell you what, I'm going to step outside. I'm going to give you 15, 20 minutes, and I would like you to write down what you what do you appreciate about yourself? And then I walked out and I led her to it. So without. So then I left.
You froze, so if we can just go back,
Okay.
I would say about 30 seconds.
Okay. So I gave her a piece of paper and a pen, and I said, okay, I would like you to write down what you appreciate about yourself. And so then I stepped out and I gave her 15 or 20 minutes, maybe a half an hour, I don't remember. And when I came back, she had totally come unraveled. She was crying, and she had not been able to write anything on that piece of paper. There was nothing on that piece of paper. So I just asked her, I said, are you open to receiving just a big bear hug? I said, that was courageous for you to come here, and it was courageous for you to engage with me in this way. And so I gave her just the biggest hug. But her body had totally come undone. Her body had come on, her cells, literally her cellular fabric had come upon a truth that it was trying to process. The nervous system just totally came unraveled. And so I said to her, it's probably time, time to take out, like, right? But your body is already in the process of healing itself. It's releasing something it's been dragging around for decades. So she went home. And then I didn't hear anything for a while. But then maybe a year later, I got a thank you card. And she says, saved my life. She says, I get it. If I can't appreciate anything about myself, how are others supposed to appreciate something about me? So it eventually, over months of inner processing and letting go, and that burden just had to come off. And so then it was, okay, start with one thing that you appreciate about yourself and just keep shining your light on the one thing. And then there'll be a second thing, and then there'll be a third thing, right? And so it just depends on who comes, and it depends on where they're at. And sometimes it's so deep in the subconscious they can't see. And then I do it's like a silent session. We'll have a conversation, like a discovery conversation, and then I send them home, and then I'll spend an evening and I literally tune into their soul. I ask permission to tune into their soul from the level of oversoul, which is a very, very high frequency. And it allows me to scan their energy fabric. And then I can see what sits in the way between what is the next layer that their body and their nervous system is ready to relinquish. Oftentimes that sits in their subconscious. They don't know what it is. Their waking awareness doesn't know what it is. Then we have a follow-up session, and we do this over Zoom too, because you can do distance work.
Yep.
And then we go through, this is what I saw. Sometimes a master will show up to help, and then I will let them know, this is the master that showed up to help. This is why, this is the energy level we're at. And then we'll go from there to see, okay, this needs processing now, because this isn't a thing of the intellect. This is a thing of your entire energy fabric is in on this. So sometimes the body just has to shake it out, or has to, whatever the physical symptoms that come with it. I always let them know that unraveling sometimes brings physical symptoms with it. Maybe the stomach goes sideways, or it just depends.
Absolutely.
But because you're healing your energy fabric, your light body, in essence, that healing is permanent. That is why peace is so important. That healing is permanent. You will not have to heal that particular issue again. It's done. And we are eternal beings. Our soul is eternal. It's immortal. Every bit of work we do on our energy fabric that is permanent forever. That is what I think is so powerful. And that is why I enjoy doing this kind of high frequency and energy guidance work, or whatever you want to call it, spiritual advisory guidance, transformational guidance, whatever label you want to put to it, so because I know that once a person lets go of something, now we have something permanent. That's something the soul forever has let go of.
And that is truly, truly beautiful. And I'm sure it's something that you discuss or address in your book on some level.
Yes. Yeah. in the introduction, we go through this. And I always let people know that to me is so important. The divinity is inside of you. It's not separate. That gold frequency that, where sometimes I have people here, they're waiting for the Redeemer to come. And I tell them, it isn't a persona basically that's showing up for you, but the Redeemer is a redeeming frequency. And it is a very high frequency of that golden Sophia Christ conscious light. But that light is already inside of you. But most of us don't know that, right? We've been taught maybe all our lives. We've been conditioned to think, oh yeah, you get to meet that when you transition out of this life. Not necessarily. That light is already inside your heart. So if you wish to activate that during this life, while you're sitting in this body, in this incarnation, you can do that. You have that option. It's not, it's just not taught. It's not, right? It's sort of a hidden kind of a thing. And I really would be excited to make that less hidden. So, so the golden ray already sits inside your heart. Now, it may be dormant still because you're under the belief that you get to it when you die, or you don't. So you die to your old self is what it is. But that doesn't mean you have to leave your body.
Gotcha.
Right? So so I always let my clients know you are your own redeemer because you are a being of free will. Source has issued you to be a being of free will. So you get to choose when you wish to return to source. That does not mean you have to leave your body. So you can activate that golden frequency light, which also bears this inexplicable peace in it. You can activate that right now if you so choose.
And that is amazing because a lot of people, especially under the construct of religion, and under the guise of religion and some levels spirituality.
Yes.
Some levels spirituality.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's all returning to source or to God. So it's an interesting understanding that this is, you don't have to die to go there.
Correct.
And that's something we can dive into in another episode because that's going to take a lot.
Yes.
So what I like to ask is, what's in your toolbox? What can we take right now and utilize? And you had mentioned a mantra.
So I have an affirmation here. If I could share that, I would. And then it's always this: take a step back from the chaos and the static. I call it. It's electric static, like an old TV. Drives me nuts. I can feel that. But a lot of people literally walk around that way. It's like, if we could just, during the day, every time you come up on a decision, no matter how minor, to just step back just a second, take a deep breath, 2, 3, 4 deep breath. Am I coming from love or am I coming from fear? And my first mantra would be, let love be thy compass. When I'm working with Mary of Magdal or Mother Mary, who are guides with me, Yeshua himself too, or that energy, I should say, those spirit beings are alive and well. Those frequencies are alive and well. And it's always, let love be thy compass. Let love be thy compass. That is always the first thing. So for years, when I made a decision, like I said, regardless how small, step back, breathe. Am I coming from fear or am I coming from love? Am I coming from judgment and resentment or am I coming from love? Am I carrying a grievance forward or could I just let that go because it's hurting me? Grievances we drag around hurt me. They sit on your cellular fabric and they hurt your body. Can we let those go? But we have to be willing, right? So, and the affirmation that I put together is just for those interested just in this moment, that are interested to be bold and to affirm and to decree for themselves, because you are a being of free will. So you can decree this for yourself to say, I am free to choose. I choose to activate the golden ray of light within me now. I choose to surrender into its flow of unconditional love now. I allow the golden ray of the Sophia Christ consciousness to wash over me now. Bathe my being in that and clear out any and all judgments, clear out resentments I carry around, dissolve any fears I still drag around, and help me let go of grievances. They weigh down our body like nobody's business. I elect to relinquish any and all conditions I place on love. I desire to emit oneness consciousness in all that I am, and so it is.
Thank you for sharing that.
And that is a choice because we're beings of free will. We get to choose this in this lifetime, especially.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. And as we come to our close, is there anything you would like to leave us with? Any additional thoughts of peace and being here in this physical plane?
Yes, I truly believe that when we reach a tipping point of humans on the planet, I don't think it has to be everyone, but I believe once we reach a tipping point, maybe even as small as 10%, that truly cultivate peace from the inside out. No, it's a cultivation from the inside out, a letting go of grievances, judgments, resentment. Every time we can come from a place of love. Once we cultivate that and we start embodying, truly embodying that gold frequency light, I believe we will have peace on the planet. And I truly believe it comes faster than we imagine, because I work with a lot of people that are very, very, very eager to embody that golden ray of light, to literally have every cell of their body swimming in that frequency, because we can do that. That is a choice.
Thank you so much. And you had mentioned that your book, it can be found on Amazon. Is it in the stores and Barnes and Noble, or?
So the book just came out. So
Soaring Beyond by Dr. Maria Inglesby.
And as an ebook, so ebook, softbound, and hard copy. And currently, because it's just out, like Barnes and Noble has it as order to, you can order it at the counter. So we've been to Barnes and Noble and they'll place the order. But for those people that are Prime members at Amazon, I think the shipment will be faster. But the physical stores do have it on their websites and they are willing to order it. But if you are, like I said, a Prime member, you can order it. And then I know of the UK, for example, it's already available as a softbound. We're checking into other countries. But yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I just really am wanting to help people cut free from these constraints so they can heal themselves. Your healing is inside of you. And also we have a free gift. If you go to my landing page, mariainglesby.com, there is a companion journal book that goes with my book, and it helps poke the bear with questions, existential questions, healing questions. What are some limiting belief questions that you could take and introspect and get in touch with that higher inner soul self that you already bear within? It really is trying to help take down barriers so that you can connect to your own inner guidance, so that any questions you have to life can come from your inside, instead of sorting pros and cons that ever shifting material world. Right? It's a shifting place. It really is.
Yes.
And you can corroborate any pro or con. And so it's sometimes it's really hard just with the intellect to make choices, but your heart has the answer already for you. It knows you more than you probably
know yourself. Yeah, it knows you. The heart knows you better than you know yourself.
Yes, absolutely true. So learn to tune into the heart, and that guided journal book helps us tune in, helps us get into the heart, helps us tune into our own inner guidance, and that's free. It's a PDF. It's a downloadable PDF.
No, thank you. We will have a link to your landing page found on the description here on YouTube.
Thank you.
And on Spotify. And I want to thank you, Maria, for joining me today and talking peace. And I would love to have you back another time to dive deeper into other aspects of this conversation.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
We're going to put you in the green room. I'll be right back. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today on Unique Peace. I hope you are excited to put these affirmations and thought processes into play, and also check out Maria's book. And I will see you next time. Thank you, and have a great day.